Seriously. Okay, I'll be the first one. So how do you like to learn how to do something about it tonight, inshallah? Would that work for you? Say yes. Inshallah. Okay. So I want you to take a look at that screen. By the way, at some point, you need to get your hands on this material. Did you email it to them or not yet? Here. Okay. You can email it to them, but don't print it until I edit it. I may remove a few pages to make it easier to print. Okay? But definitely you can email it to them. But I want to take a look at this one screen. This screen here summarizes what I would call the steps to basically build a successful life. Okay? And this is something that's going to take us weeks to cover, because each one of the concepts that you see in the elliptical is going to require 1 or 2 classes for me to go over. But tonight, I want to focus on one in particular, which is one all the way down before the end. Can anybody read it? I know it's hard to see the screen. Zoom in a little bit. Number 6. What does it say? Make being learning-based the foundation for your action plan. In other words, you need to learn how to learn. Sounds like playing with words, but in reality, it's an important concept. You need to learn how to learn. Now, people exist in one of 4 phases. Let me share it with you what they are. The first one is called unconscious incompetence. يعني الواحد بكهبل ومش عارف انه هبل. Abu Hamid al-Ghazali years ago called it a جهل المركب. الجهل المركب أن لا تعلم أنك لا تعلم. واحد really, he thinks he's smart, and he really has no idea that he doesn't know he's just confused. Okay, with certain level of learning, you become aware that you don't know. In other words, you move from the case of unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. وفي حديث actually بيقول رحم الله امرئ عرف قدر نفسه. بعرفش إذا حديث أو مقال. May God have mercy on somebody who knows his self's true worth. And many times people come to me and they ask me a technical question about something I don't know about. I have no problem to say, I don't know. I may tell them to go somewhere else where they would know. And that's called conscious incompetence. You know, some of you may say, well, I'm not good at algebra. That's conscious incompetence. It doesn't mean you can't learn. It simply says that right now, at this moment, I'm not good at this. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually better than unconscious incompetence. Then with a little bit of training, which we'll talk about now, you move into an area, it's called conscious competence. And in other words, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So now you're in that area where you're aware of what you know and what you don't know. You get to a point, at some point, it's called unconscious competence. This is the best example I can give you is from martial arts. People who are trained really well in martial arts, they reach a point where they can sense danger coming. They don't have to see it. They can sense it coming, and they'll probably block it without looking to see where it's coming from. That's called, it's reflexive. It's unconscious competence. That's the highest level. Now, how do you get there? Look at the left side now. The lowest level of learning the least amount of learning and retention comes from reading something. If I gave you an article right now and I asked you to read it, and you read it, and then a half hour later I said to you, what did you read? You'll be lucky if your retention is maybe 5%. And this is known. If there are any teachers in the room? We have teachers, I'm sure. Sister Zabi's teacher, yeah. We have teachers. And they will tell you that they don't count on you reading something to learn. That's why there's a lesson plan and there are steps. They want to make sure that you do certain homework, certain quizzes, tests, pop quizzes, all kinds of things to make sure you learn. So the lowest level of learning is when you read. That's why I'm amazed when I tell somebody, do you know something about X, a subject? Say, yeah, I know about it. Really? How did you learn about it? Oh, I read an article. Really? That's the like rock bottom. Okay? So somebody wants to advance a little bit. This person goes and does what? He or she attends a lecture. So if tonight's class was just a lecture, me talking, it's a little better than you reading something, but it ain't much better. Trust me, because you're going to go out of here and you're going to forget 90% of what I shared with you. So instead of retaining 5%, you probably go to 10. And you go down the list where, as you go down the list, your retention becomes better, okay? So if we had a discussion, if instead of telling you something, I told it to you, you read something about it before you came in, and then I said, okay, so what do you guys think about X? And then we started having an exchange. Now your level of understanding increases. These three levels simply move you from a state of unconscious incompetence to a state of conscious incompetence. That's all they do. You're still nowhere near mastery, okay? So now we're going to get better. We do some more advanced work. I'm not going to detail each one of them. Participatory meaning that you participate in preparing the lesson. So you come in, you share some. And, you know, one student talks about the history of Palestine, another one talks about after 1948, the other one talks about 1967. And so they participate. Okay, instead of me talking, now you guys are talking. Then we do a little better. We do a case study. We say, okay, let's see how they did in Vietnam. How did the Vietnamese drive out the Americans? How did they defeat the United States? And we talk about the tunnels underground in Vietnam and the similarity with Hamas and Gaza, I mean, and all of that stuff. Now we're talking case study. Case study is, let's take an example. These are all known methods in science for learning, okay? And a case study is much more advanced. Actually, that goes all the way up to graduate school. And then we come to real learning now, role modeling. So tonight, I'm going to have you learn how to do something that will help answer the question, Ya Rabbi, how can I help Palestine? By doing 4 things. We are going to do some, I'm going to do a role modeling, and then I'm going to have you do role playing. Of what? Okay. Fact. Brother Weil and I, Abu Amar, were talking earlier. Fact. All of your posts and likes and shares and everything that you're doing is making a difference. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Do you see people embracing Islam on TikTok and rice and this and that? Okay. So it's happening. Alhamdulillah. But do you also agree that there are algorithms that are being used by Facebook and TikTok and others that are, what is it called? Shadow banning, and I don't know these terms. What do they mean? What is it called? Shadowing. Okay, it's probably happening to me. I don't even know it's happening. But the point I'm trying to say is that all of that, as good as it is, they can block it. They can slow it down. They can see where you're effective, and they can block it, okay? Now, I'm going to teach you a method that no one can block. And it's a very well-known method. They are using it very effectively, and they've been using it for years. We are not using it, and we're not good at it. And that is calling your representative. How many of you get an action alert that says, call your rep? We all do, right? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I guarantee you, less than 5% of our community actually picks up the phone and calls. We know that for a fact because we have people on the inside. We have Muslim volunteers in the offices of people like Menendez and Booker and all these people, and they tell us, they say the incoming calls from the other side are probably 10, 20 times more than the calls that are coming from our community. Okay? Why is that? I spent more than 37 years in sales. And in the last 17 years, my job was, I was a national trainer. I was training salespeople around the country. Okay? Some of the people that I trained, they went on to make millions of dollars. And it didn't take much. All I had to do was how to teach them to take care of a problem called call reluctance. Call reluctance in psychology, in training, is simply fear of the phone. Fear of speaking on the phone. Even though, like, you'll never pick up the phone and like some hand will come out and like choke you or like grab you by the throat. So why are we afraid? It's just human nature. It's like, why are people afraid to speak in public? It has names. And that's why Toastmasters exists, by the way. People sign up and they go and they practice in a safe environment, okay? So tonight what I'm gonna do what I used to do with my salespeople, okay? I role model a conversation, a phone call. I'm gonna pretend, take a volunteer, probably Abu Umar or Akhnidal, one of them, and he's gonna pretend to be an intern at Booker's office, for instance. And I'm gonna call. And I'm gonna talk to him the way you should be talking on the phone. Are you interested in learning, or am I talking to myself here? Yes, okay. So I'm gonna role model it. Role model it means I'm the model and I'm role modeling. So I'm gonna have the conversation. I'm gonna call him, I'm saying ring, ring, and he's gonna answer, and I'm gonna show you how I would conduct that call. Okay, I'll repeat it a couple of times. Now, if I want to embarrass the heck out of you, I'll make one of you do it. And you'll see how many hums are going to come through the call. Okay? And it's fine. At least the person made the call. But we're here. You guys are taking time out of your Saturday. I just took time, an hour to drive here. Away. I was at my son's house having dinner. But I felt that this is important. So I said to my son, my grandkids, good night. And I got in my car and came. My wife and I went in 2 separate cars, okay, so that I can come here. Why? Because I think it's important. I hope you think it's important as I think it is for you, okay? So once I role model it a couple of times, and you'll see how flawless it comes through. I hope it does, and I don't stutter. So it goes through, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair you up, have you split into teams of 2s, and I'm going to give you a handout. Okay, I'm going to pass the handouts now. This has a script. Okay, each one of you take one and pass. So this is the script that we will use. You will be paired. One of you will call, will say ring, ring, and the other one will say hello. And you will talk to them like if you were calling your congressman, okay? And it's okay to stumble. It's okay to fumble. It's okay to stutter. It's okay. That's the idea, is that you do it here in a safe environment where you can make a mistake. You can do it over and over and over, then flip, the other person does it. You do it a few times. You take the script with you at home, you practice it a few more times, and then hopefully Monday morning, you couldn't wait to get to a phone, to grab the phone number of your congressman and call and actually do it, and then pat yourself on the back and say, Alhamdulillah, I did something for Palestine. And once you do it the first time, here's what's going to happen. You will develop enough confidence that down the road, anything you don't like, the easiest thing in the world should be for you to pick up the phone and call this person that we put in office, that we elected, that we pay their salary, and hold them accountable to us, we the people. This is how this country runs. And if you don't understand that, it's about time you do. None of us has any right to complain if we are not doing our job. Brother Matahan just ran for office. That's like the most you can do as a citizen, is to put yourself out there. Because they're going to take shots at you, they're going to call you names, they're going to threaten you, they're going to do all kinds of things. He went through all of that. Okay? And here he is sitting with you because he humbled himself to come in and learn a thing or two, even though he could be the mayor of Paramus. And I'm not kidding you. Okay, if he tells you about his biography and how much he worked with the city as a firefighter, as a part of the Board of Education, right? He's on the Board of Education. He's been in public service for how many years, Nidal? 23 years in public service. If he could humble himself and come here to do this with you, then you can see how important this is. And you may be young, and that's okay. When you call, I'll modify the script for you and show you how to say it and be truthful and how to actually tell them. I'm a 13-year-old, but I'm a citizen, and one day I'm going to be voting. You need to really send shivers down their spine. You need them to think and say, oh my God, what kind of a generation are they raising? But you got to start now. The other side of this argument, believe me, they do it at a much younger age. We're almost late. All right, so we're not going to waste any more time. I'm going to make the script. The script is not in front of me, so I'm speaking from my head. If I'm off by one word or two, don't hold me to it. Okay, so I'm going to call, Nidal, you want to be your son? What's your name, Ammo? Imran. So you're the intern. You're answering the phone, okay? And I'm going to say, ring, ring. Say hello. Yeah, hi. My name is Mohammad Abbasi. I'm from Cliffside, New Jersey, Cliffside Park, New Jersey. And the reason I'm calling, watch the script now. The reason I'm calling is because there is a genocide taking place in Gaza. You hear how I'm talking? There is a genocide taking place in Gaza. Notice my voice is going high to low. It has to sound like this, chop, chop, chop. I'm not kidding. You don't call and say, well, there is a genocide going on in Gaza. And he's going to say, oh, really? Really? How sincere does that sound to you? Tell me. So watch how I'm talking. This is, by the way, this is science. There is a science behind this called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. NLP is a very advanced science. People spend thousands of dollars taking courses so they can have a conversation in front of influential people and they can get the message across without the other side rolling their eyes. So here I am calling. There is a genocide going on in Gaza. And it is being done with our tax dollars and with our weapons. And the reason I'm calling is to ask that Senator Booker demand an immediate ceasefire right now. I'm going to pause. The first one to speak usually at this moment loses. It's not time to talk. You pause. You want to hear what the other side is doing. Okay? So you can say something. You can say, so what do you want me to do, or something like that. So how can I help you? Great. Did you take my name? Okay. So my name, write it down, is Mohammad Abbasi. You write it down, right? And did you take notes? You didn't take notes. So I'm going to repeat what I just said, and I hope you take notes because I want the senator to get exactly what I just said to you. So I'm going to repeat. There is a genocide going on in Gaza, and it's being done with our weapons and our tax dollars. And I want my representative, Senator Booker, to demand an immediate ceasefire for the hostilities in Gaza. Now, did you get that? Can you repeat it back to me? Hold on. Did you hear what I just said? I am putting him on the line. I'm making him repeat it. So if the intern did not take notes, by the way, it's being recorded. It's all being recorded. So he's going to have to repeat it to me. So repeat it to me. Because it's being done with our money and our weapons. Thank you. What's your name? John. Okay, John, thank you very much. I'll be calling you again tomorrow to make sure that you've delivered the message. Have a good day. How was that? Thank you. No, but the point I'm trying to tell you, I'm a master trainer. I train trainers, okay? So I don't expect you to perform at this level right now, okay? You're not going to get an Oscar for your first performance. Nobody does. But a little bit at a time, you try it and you try it again. Before you know it, I'll be asking for a volunteer and the hands would be going up, me. And I would say, go ahead. And you will see it coming out of their mouth. Now, this is not going to help you just help the people of Gaza. God forbid. There's crisis in Kashmir. There's crisis in Bosnia. There's crisis here in America. It doesn't matter. There's always crisis. And the shortest distance between you and the decision maker, thank God for that, is the phone. They're using it effectively. We're not. This class that I'm doing here, as of this afternoon, 3 o'clock, I conducted it to a group of 5 people in Sacramento, California. Within 24 hours, they're going to have a class of 200 people tomorrow that are going to be doing exactly what we're doing here. This is serious business. I did it on Zoom with them, and I showed them how to do it, and now they are printing 200 pages, and they are going to be doing it tomorrow, exactly like we're doing it, okay? So what I would love for you to do now is pair up, okay? Just turn to the person next to you, and if you don't have a partner, pick a partner, and do it with them. This is how you learn. Assalamu alaikum. Stop. Shh, stop. Listen to me. I'm not going to pick on anybody, but I see some people doing it like this. Okay, they're laying back. Look, this is not a positive posture. You need, listen to me, young men, especially the men. Sit at the edge of your seat, like if you're ready to pounce. I'm not kidding. Okay, or maybe even stand up. Wallahi, I'm not kidding. If you can stand up, stand up. Stand up facing the other person. Take a combative posture, like if you are going to bounce on the other person. Build your energy from the inside. Speak with conviction. Speak from the guts. This is serious business. There are lives on the line. Do it. Assalamu alaikum. Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Stop for a second. The script that you have in brackets, it says senator, comma, congressman. Fill the blanks. Don't say senator. You pick a name. You understand? Pick a name. This is so that later on you can remove the word senator and put Booker or Menendez there. or remove. My preference is that you call your congressman. Figure out who's your congressperson, put the name there, and when you call that congressman and name them by name. Do you understand? Number one. Number two, listen to me. Number two, it's okay the first time you're reading it like this. May I? Like this. Hi, my name is Mohammed. I'm from New Jersey. There's a genocide in Gaza. Israel is killing people. Okay, you're doing it this way, fine, it's the first time. But after doing it 3-4 times, I want it to sound like this. There is genocide in Gaza. And if you have to move your hands, do it, because you want the energy to come across. Do you understand? But that's what you're aiming at. You may not do it the first time, but your partner, if your partner is watching you, your partner should say, put more power into it, okay? Like punch, okay? Go ahead, continue. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Some of you did it once and stopped. That's like going to a martial arts class, watching the sensei say, here's how you throw a punch, and then saying to you, okay, go home. Now you know how to throw a punch. Are you kidding? My kids are black belt. I watch them get their butts kicked for years. Okay? I watch them throw those punches once and again and again and again. That's how it becomes, after a while, it becomes natural. Okay? So I want you to at least try 5 times. Just now, 5 times. When you go home, I hope you do it 50 more times, so that before you know it, it becomes natural. So try at least a couple of more times, inshallah, before I ask you how it felt. All right. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I'm so proud of you. You really, I could see. I mean, some of the young men here, I would hate to be on the other side of the call. They're like, pow! They're pounding the table. Alhamdulillah. So a couple of more things before I ask you how did it feel. I want you to download this app on your phone. It's called 5 Calls. This is from Brother Matahan. He just told me about it. I've seen it before, but I didn't use it. I'm going to start using it. 5 Calls, this app, all you have to do is plug in your zip code, and it'll pop up your 2 senators and your congressman for your district. Right there. Phone, email, picture, everything you need to know. Okay? So this will make your job so much easier. The phone is there. All you have to do is push that button and the phone starts ringing. Try to call between 9 and 5 because that's when they take calls. Don't call tomorrow. They're closed. Unless if you want to just leave a message, that's fine. My preference is that you actually give the notes to a note taker. Now, let's put a little twist here. What if you are underage? Okay? There is no harm in you starting to practice as an underage. You can say to them, well, I'm not 18 yet, but I'll be 18 soon. You can add that if you want to. If you don't care, just speak as if you are an adult. They're not going to ask you how old you are. Okay. So here's my question to you. How did it feel? I want a few volunteers to share with me and tell me if they felt before this little exercise the same way as they do now about the issue of phone calling or calling a representative. Any volunteers? Just share your thoughts with me, how you feel. Go ahead. How did it feel to go through this exercise? What did it do to you? Yeah, an issue in general. Thank you. That's even better. Yeah, yeah. So you see, he felt confident. Now this is just from trying for 10 minutes. Imagine if you role played this with your brother, your sister, your mother, your classmate, and you said, let's sit down and do this for Palestine. Let's do this for Nicaragua. I don't care for what. Any cause you believe in, you need to talk to your congressperson about it. That's why they're there for. Okay? Don't give your voice for free. We pay tons of taxes. These guys work for us. Make them work. And here's the best part. The more you do it, the more confident you feel. And if you really, really, really want to master this, let me give you one word of advice. Do what I'm doing right now. Teach someone. I think I shared with you last time or the time before. When I wanted to master something, chemistry, algebra, whatever it was, I had 5 brothers and 1 sister, all younger than me. I would grab one of my brothers, start practicing on him. Wallahi, Akhuy Ahmed. I would sit him down and teach him chemistry. I became number 1 في الأردن جميعها بالكيمياء. في التوجيه طلعت رقم 1 في المملكة في الكيمياء. Why? Because I practiced on my younger brother. Okay? So my tip to you tonight is practice, practice, practice until it flows. You don't have the right to edit the script until you've mastered it. Listen to what I just said. Don't sit there and start writing your own script. You're not that good yet. This script is written this way for a reason. I'm a trainer. I'm a script writer. I sat down. I wrote exactly what we need to do. If you don't recognize it, here's what I did. I created the context, which is there is genocide going on in Gaza. I problematized it. This in social science means I pointed to a problem. What's the problem? There are women and children being killed with our tax dollars and our weapons. That's called the problem. Response. The response is our congressman needs to call for a ceasefire right now. This is called CPR. Remember those words. C is contextualize. P is problematize. R is response. If you forget this, remember the acronym CPR. Okay? So this is written based on a formula. I didn't just sit there and blurb these words. I am following a formula. Even my khutbahs, I've been giving khutbahs for 35 years. I use the formula to build my khutbah. I always start with context. I mention the problem, I mention the response, and I talk about it, and it's a good khutbah. Okay? So for you, do not edit this too much. Just fill in the blanks, put the name of the congressman, put the name of the senator, and repeat it. As long as it's for the ceasefire, this is what we use. Down the road, as I come here, there will be other issues. Inshallah, there will be a ceasefire very soon. Looks like it's coming. Okay? They're getting beat up really, really bad. Okay? So inshallah, my hope is that before the next class, the hostilities will stop and there will be a reprieve. When that happens, we will need a different script altogether. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue. And hopefully there'll be hundreds like you between now and then. I'm calling around the country. I'm building teams like this around the country. There's one, like I said, in Sacramento. There's going to be one in Raleigh, North Carolina, one in San Diego. I'm working on it around the clock, inshallah. But you do your job. Make me proud of you. And I hope and pray to Allah Azza wa Jal, and Rabb al-Alameen will reward you for this effort. I can't reward you. Allah will reward you. تفضل أخي. Okay, the idea here is that you call your own representative for the simple reason that they listen to you because they know that you can vote them out of office. Okay, down the road, if there is an issue where one congressperson is leading an effort, for instance, to kick out Palestinians from America, for instance, at that point, I'm hoping in the future, if we have, let's say, 50,000 people like yourselves who are trained and ready to do the call, we send an SOS, and 50,000 calls go to this one congressperson, what do you think he or she is going to do? Yeah. So for now, let's keep it simple. We don't want to complicate it because when you start complicating the scenario, people give up very quickly. For now, we just want to practice this short script that you guys have. And next week, inshallah, I will ask some of you to come up here and do it. And I hope I get a few volunteers. And we want to be very proud of you, inshallah. From the sisters, tafadali. Yeah. It doesn't matter. They don't know that. They don't know that. They don't know that. There's no question. Nobody's going to ask you if you are a citizen. Nobody, they're not going to ask you. Nobody will ask. Yeah. Go ahead. Most likely, we're going to put heavy pressure to send aid immediately. There's going to be at least a few $1 billion in immediate aid to feed, house, medicate, to treat. I mean, there is people, injured people laying on the floors. You're seeing it all. It's not, it's not hidden from us. So the biggest mistake we can make is to watch a ceasefire and then say, okay, we're done. Actually, the problems will continue for years to come. At some point, even 5 years from now, we're going to need to have counselors helping the little kids that went through this. The work is not going to stop. Okay, Gaza cannot stop. Okay, we're going to go from one phase to the other, to the other, to the other. Bi-idhnillah ta'ala, this time, we're not going to stop. We did it in the past. That was a mistake. This time, we're going to start this way, and then we're going to go to the next step. The next step, we're going to find out what their needs are, and we're going to put our energy and do it. No one can, listen, let me tell you something. One of you is the equivalent, no exaggeration, of maybe 10,000 or even 100,000 in Amman. Why? Because those people don't matter to the people here. If you have 1 million people demonstrating في عمان ولا في القاهرة ولا هنا ولا هنا, to them it's like يشربوا مية البحر. They don't care. But you and I make a difference because we're the ones that put them in office. We pay their salary. I don't want to repeat myself. These people work for us. The sisters, yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 In the beginning, it may feel a little bit unnatural. Even to the person receiving the call, they may sense that you are scripted. And that is okay because you're starting. As you master the script, it starts coming across much more natural, and they will not know that you're speaking from a script. I taught some of my salespeople scripts 20 years ago. One of them was my son. He was sitting in class. A couple of days ago, I tested him. I said, do you remember the script, the cold calling script around the listing? The script, really, I'll give you an example. It's like when a house goes up for sale, the salesperson, Qasabi here is a salesman, right? One of you is a salesman here. It's a realtor. Which one? Hamza? Okay, Hamza. So let's say that somebody gave him a house for sale and he put the sign on it, okay? What I used to train my salespeople to do is to pick up the phone and call at least 20 people around that house, okay, and go like this, ring, ring. Of course, they answer the phone, and I would say, I just list, my name is, Joe Schmo from XYZ Realty. The reason I'm calling is I just put a house on the market around the block from your house, and I have so many buyers looking to buy in this neighborhood. Have you thought about selling, you or somebody that you know thought about selling lately? And what are they going to say? No, I haven't. Great. Well, if you come across somebody who's thinking about buying or selling, would you please give me a call? What are they going to say? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put my card in the mail for you so that if you need to call me, you wouldn't have any problem. Now, by the way, would you be offended if I called you a week or two from now just to check and see if anybody maybe expressed an interest in buying into this neighborhood? And what did they say? Oh, sure, I won't be offended. Okay, great. Have a good day. Do you hear what I just said? It's a script. Did it feel like a script? No. Why? Because I'm a trainer. But it works best when my salespeople do it. I know somebody who only has a high school diploma, okay, in West Milford, who learned these scripts. 1 year, he made $1.2 million in commission, okay, straight commission. And all he did was pick up the phone and repeat the script over and over and over. And people would say, come list me. He would go put their house on the market. Next thing you know, it sells. He walks away with a $40,000 check. This is serious stuff I'm teaching you. Right now, it's good for you to help Gaza and to do all of this. Down the road, if you choose to go into a career that requires that you make phone calls, this will come in handy. Trust me. All right? I don't want to keep you, I kept you 5 minutes late. I apologize. Jazakum Allah khairan. Barakallah fikum. Don't forget to make dua for Gaza. Wallahi, if you can wake up before Fajr in the last hour and you make wudu, make sujood, and make dua for Gaza, it works. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum. No, they need to use the 5-call app. Use the app. Assalamu alaikum.